Welcome everybody. You're tuning in to the Fight Show. And this is where we break the fight world down, round by round, in master boxing. First and foremost, we got to get right to the meat on the potatoes because we just have crowned a new heavyweight American champion last night in Deontay Wilder. And what we do here in round by round is we break the fight world down round by round, whether it's about the skill sets, the intestinal fortitude that it takes for a fighter to get to the level that it takes for him to get to make it to that pinnacle, like Deontay Wilder just so recently did last night, and in a magnificent style as well. So as you think about it, what we do is we break it down. So Deontay Wilder, first round, as we go in, the characteristics of a champion. Prior to the fight, those guys, as you can see, the characteristics of a champion, these categories are always broken down. First, you're going to have the quiet man, Joe Frazier. Lennox Lewis was somewhat of a quiet man, Joe Louis. These guys are what we call the echelon of the quiet heavyweight champion. They come in, they want to do what they do, they just handle business when it comes to getting in the ring and fighting. And that's what they want to do. But it's just like going to school and someone's trying to mess with you. What you want to do first is you got to have what we call some kind of a swagger to keep the naysayers and the haters off. And that is how you walk around. And that means everything, because the way you walk around is how people perceive you. You know, you don't see boxers taking pictures or football players taking pictures in string bikini. Why? Because it's a persona that you have to have as a heavyweight champion or of any type sport as a world champion. Even in MMA, Ronda Rousey, you don't see her looking too girly until it's time to put the show on the girly side of things, model-esque, get it on. Those things are a reason, it's a reason why those things come to fruition. It's because people want to be perceived a certain way. Deontay Wilder wants to be perceived a certain way. Stiverne, Bermain Stiverne, before that fight, he had no interest in anyone really knowing who he was. He wants to get in the ring, take the check, and this is the difference between those two fighters. But as that fight played out and this event built up, you could see Sonny Liston was another one. And the reason why I have to say that is because this was Ali Sonny Liston-esque, Ali Joe Frazier-esque. The role has to be taken of the bad guy. Deontay took that role, and we got 30 seconds left in this round, and then we're going to move on to the next. Deontay, he took that role, and he took it with a grain of salt. The majority of the people that watched this fight last night were watching to see the questions get answered. Could he survive what Bermain Stiverne was going to bring? Well, the simple fact is he had the characteristics, the cachet, the chin, and the objectivity. He knew he wanted to set out for his goal to become a heavyweight champion. And that's some of the characteristics that make up Deontay Wilder. This is in between round where we just chop it up and lead you off and segue into the next topic of discussion, the hatred that was built in the midst of creating this fight. Which was it? Was it a necessary evil? Yes, it was. Because the characteristics that we segue from in the first round was talking about the things that created the stage, the cachet, the flavor, the style, the verbiage. He's always being charismatic with the things that he says, and to get up under the other guy's skin, or more or less not, because I think he meant everything he said. But now we're going to prep to get ready for round two. The hatred that was built prior to this fight was something that causes guys to go off of their game plan. And at the end of the day, that was what happened first. Deontay Wilder got up under the skin of Bermain Stiverne. Round 2 coming now. Stiverne did something out of character. I saw him when he fought Chris Arreola, and he did eventually get a little frustrated and a little upset, and he talked a little smack, very little smack. But this time the camera was following him because he had all access behind him. And they did a good segment. It's a little shorter than 20 minutes on both the guys. Of course, the guy who speaks the most is going to carry the fight. This is a very important thing. This is entertainment. So these things have to be aligned with which star is perfect for the role. And Deontay Wilder, think about it, this guy, he's perfect for the role. He's willing to embrace the things that will come apart or will come around in this fight that makes sense to sell the fight. So he got on social media and he really hammered it out, and he really made his point known that he was not here to play and he was going to talk the talk and walk the walk. But the fire that was burning underneath this fight, due to the simple fact that these guys built hatred in that at the press conferences and in social media. And that's the difference between the fights now and the fights before. There was not a lot of brouhaha going on before the fight actually got on, except for when the press conference and the weigh-in. So they didn't have as many times and opportunities to meet. The media didn't cover it on such a wide scale. Now you can have your boy come over with the camera and go ahead and get it started and post it, and there you go. You got a whole new storyline. The hatred was built and it was elevated and it was broken down inside. You could see it in both of the guys. And as the fight was about to happen, you can look into Deontay Wilder's eyes and see that he truly wanted to administer pain to this guy, and vice versa. Bermain Stiverne was on the record saying, "I want to catch a case." And Deontay Wilder, the same phrases coming out of his mouth, due to the fact that they had built that testosterone level up in camp, and then another man's questioning your capabilities. 30 seconds left. Let's go in like Sugar Ray Leonard with the flurry. The flurry is, the minute that he got into Bermain Stiverne's head, he knew that it had to be a fight of epic proportions. So no matter what, he wasn't going in there on the game plan, and Deontay Wilder was. The game plan, like I said prior to the pre-fight post, was that Stiverne would have too much to overcome. And that's the reason the hatred didn't work in his favor. Round 2 is over. Now we're going to segue and go into the round 3. The adversities that people were questioning about Deontay Wilder, the things that they didn't see him have to deal with in prior fights. That's where we're going next in round 3. But to complete what I was saying, in the last round, is those things got up under Bermain Stiverne's skin, and he was going in the ring with anger, rage. And that was Deontay Wilder's game plan, to get up under his skin to the point where he would kind of levy off of the game plan, because he even said it last night, post-fight. He don't know why he couldn't get it going. Well, it was that jab, hook right hand, uppercuts, the body work, the fight itself, the skill set. What it took for him to go through those things, the shots that he took, hellacious, needless to say. The adversities that Deontay Wilder had not been, this is round 3, that he had not been faced with before. Getting hit on the chin, being drugged in the deep water, which is the late rounds for those who are not true solid 100%ers. That's boxing fans. Could he really overcome and stick to a game plan over a long period of time? Whenever that water came from your knees and got up to your chin, would you be able to really dig down and gut it out in a toe-to-toe war? Because when you talk the talk, you have to walk that walk. And one thing that was for sure last night is Deontay Wilder, when he got in that ring, he let the people know one thing after that fight. It's not about what you do just in the ring. You win the fight in the training camp. And my biggest thing in my pre-post to break the fight down was a bigger superior man beats a smaller superior man if they're both at a supreme level. And that's one of the things that I had to make note. Bermain Stiverne had too many adversities to overcome. Size, height, reach, range. Not only is Deontay taller, even his jab, the distance between his jab is serious heavyweight. I mean, he may have arms as long as Lennox Lewis, and Lennox Lewis was an 84-incher. You get it? That's a wingspan. That's a person. The range in the shoulders, the shoulder girth, the distance between that and rotating for that right hand. I mean, that's a lot of range to cover. It wasn't the fact that he was just shorter. He had too much to physically overcome. And that's one of the reasons he couldn't get in and get going. As I saw last night, as everybody was posting, and they were like, he closed the gap. Close the gap? You got to go through. That's why he's throwing the jab, so you can't close the gap. Close the gap, cut the ring off. I'm dazed. That's why I can't cut the ring off. The ring can't get cut off because he's setting me up for something else. You know, that right hand's not feeling so great on my chin. And when a fighter starts to take clean shots like that, and the first telltale sign, 30 seconds, and the first telltale sign is when he landed the first uppercut and broke him down in the second round. That was one of the first key signs of seeing that my face can't take that damage. So over and over and over, he did runs with these combinations on Stiverne's skull. Regardless of his skill set, it's hard to overcome that. Being dazed and having that jab land on you, that's a serious thing. That's round 3. Round 4. The beating, the repercussions of a beating like that is what we're going to go into next in round 4. Fighters fight for purse, and then there are fighters that are fighting for history. That's the objectivity of that statement is weighing on. There are fighters who come to lay their lives down, which is what we call the Mexican style. The Chavezes, even his son. The guys who are going there, the Arturo Gattis, the real warriors of the fight world, who go in there and leave it in the ring no matter what. You have to understand why. Everyone's driven by something. And that's why a lot of the times when fighters get so rich, they lose that other hunger, that other fire, that other advantage. Because they're not willing to take that punishment anymore, because your mind tells you when it's too many and when it's too much. Round 4, as we go into this, you got the beating. The beating is the battering that Bermain Stiverne took to say furthermore that those punches will have a long-term effect is an understatement, because the simple fact is, post-fight, you can hear him talking. Bermain Stiverne's not a natural talker, and what I mean by that, he's not someone loaded with grammar and stage lines, and you know, he just doesn't have a script whenever he steps into an interview. No matter what the interview is, he's very much not the guy that you want on the microphone at an event or speaking for something, because that's just not his demeanor. You know, he's a very quiet guy. He's sort of like the Marshawn Lynch's of the world, guys who just don't want to get in front of the camera because they feel like they can do their talking in the ring. Post-fight, as you listen to Bermain Stiverne, and before I go into this deep, I want to make sure that everyone understand that that guy went in there and he really put it on the line. And he sacrificed his life because those type shots linger on. And hopefully he's physically in a better state today. But with the amount of punches that he took from that guy coming from 6'7" down and raining on him, he's going to have a hard couple of days and weeks. And the fact that he has the thick skull, the thick jaw, he was sturdy, and he had a great chin, and he was built for that. He was built to take those punches, but boxing is supposed to be taught to show you how not to be hit by an adversary. But the beating that he took, the long-term effect of those punches landing under, over, whiplash effect from that stiff long jab coming down with those rangy arms and that shoulder base. The guy's shoulder girdle is one of the main reasons he has such power and is not heavy. I'm sure he has to pack on weight to get to 220, 219. That's the key thing, and he's punching down, and he understands he's athletic. He has a variety of skills to add to that athleticism, and he has character and cachet. This is a lot of the reason why he pummeled, and I mean literally pummeled, your boy Stiverne, because it was a simple act of, I'm going to put this beating on you. But the long-term effect of those beatings really could play a major part in the way that the fighter operates later. There was a stutter in that conversation, post-fight interview. And there was not just hesitation and stutter. There was delayed reaction and response when he knew what he was trying to say. That's a sign. That's when you need a CAT scan after a fight. Even if the fact that he wasn't knocked out and he took him into deep waters and beat on him in the late rounds, shows another reason why you need to go get a CAT scan. And you usually don't have to do that when you're knocked out, TKO'd, or stopped in a fight. That's the reason why they go ahead and send you to the hospital. But Bermain Stiverne definitely suffered some concussed-like symptoms last night, because he was, I remember Galata after fighting Tyson, same thing, round 5. The possibilities are out of this world for Deontay Wilder, and that's what we're going to talk about in round 5. The possibilities of what he's going to be capable of doing if he takes a fight like that. Imagine if that fight was on NBC and the world would have been able to see it. Just imagine if 130 million viewers had an opportunity to see an American heavyweight come to rise and take the throne from a Haitian. And the goals are set on taking it to Russia or the Ukraine and fight Klitschko and Tyson Fury as well, in the reverse order, as Deontay made clear. That's what his perfect world would look like. Think about these things. These are the type things that will make our sport it will make it mainstream worthy. A heavyweight champion. This is one of the main reasons that television didn't embrace boxing anymore. It was carried by the smaller men, and the networks kind of backed away from it after the Tyson era, a little bit into the Lewis era, and he closed it out. But Lewis wasn't a TV guy. Sugar Ray Leonard was the TV guys. Right now we have the TV, the mainstream. Our show in boxing, and the way that the momentum from social media carries it, it's going to be epic. Just like the new show Empire with Terrence Howard and Taraji. It came on. The build-up was crazy. Now Fox, which is a Republican network, I mean the true Tea Party is. These individuals have seen something happening in the sport with their own eyes, because you can track the numbers on social media. And you can see how well boxing does. The fact that it could possibly be going into network TV, having those fans watch the sport of boxing will push it into such an echelon. With a heavyweight champion, the greatest boxer in this era at welterweight, also going strong still, heading towards a record. Deontay Wilder was in the last fight of the contract that he was in. Now he could possibly sign and be a fighter on NBC, which will bring many people to the sport of boxing, which we all benefit. Like I said, one man had to step in that ring and create all that, and that was Deontay Wilder, and hats off to him, because Purpose is round 6. The purpose, 5. The purpose that drives him, of course, the daughter. And knowing that he almost entered his adulthood without a career, and later in his life he found boxing. But these things are what happen whenever you stick to a plan and believe in yourself, and you have a great team surrounding you and pushing you throughout those doors and giving you the support that you need. The purpose is to try to get yourself in a position and align yourself to fight those who are necessary to fight. Like I said before, a long time ago, I realized some things. I realized what I was on the planet to do, and maybe you have too. But one thing that I know for sure after seeing Deontay Wilder fight and the pre-fight is that he understands what he was here to do. And the fact that you get the opportunity to do it is a beautiful thing, because a lot of people will never find that, and they will never be able to exercise that. I want you to take this with you. There are 2 days in your life that are most important. The 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Think about that. And I hope you're there. They call me the Fight Doctor. And I thank you guys for watching. Because you're watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down, baby. Round by round. Peace and congratulations to the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder, the new heavyweight American champion of the world. Peace. Be blessed. Stay tuned. We coming with more. Out.